Is this heaven?
No, it's a podcast. Welcome to the Field of Geeks podcast.
Hello and welcome to Field of Geeks podcast, episode 93. I'm Josh.
And I'm David.
Got a great show full of discussion for you today. We're going to be talking Toys R Us, Deadpool 2, Infintiy War, Krypton, and of course whatever else comes our way. First off, I'd like to remember Stephen Hawking. He passed away. We weren't recording during that time, so this is a little late, but yeah.
That's a very sad and heavy loss. That man redefined the science, everything. He had a very strong opinion, and people listened to about everything from creation of the universe to God to black holes, aliens, black holes. Yeah, in fact, he said that the next 100 years, if mankind wants to survive, we have to look to the stars. We are not going to survive another 100 years on our planet.
Oof.
So
I hope he's wrong.
Yeah, I do too. However, brilliant man.
We won't be here, so I guess that's good. But our kids will be, sadly. So
he's a brilliant man, and it is a terrible, terrible loss.
It is. You know, he overcame a terrible struggle, life struggle. I think he had Lou Gehrig's disease, and he was only expected to live 2 years, I think, when he got diagnosed.
2 or 5, something like that.
And he definitely extended that time.
Yeah, and then said he lived another 54 years or something. He put a hell of a lifetime.
Oh yeah, and I never did see that movie that was based on his life. Did you happen to catch it?
No, I haven't. I wanted to, but then I never got around to it. I couldn't even tell you what the name of it is now. It'd be something I would have to Google.
Yeah, Eddie Redmayne played him. I forgot what it was called too, but of course it got a lot of awards, so it's got to be worth the time. But you know, it's I think some of it's fictionalized, but that's how they do it with based on true events, you know.
Yeah.
I think the movie might have said he just had this one glamorous marriage, but he actually was married a few times. Mm-hmm. So I think he had a couple kids, but I really came to know him maybe from that brief appearance on The Next Generation. He had that poker table scene with Data. Data had all the great minds.
Yeah.
Einstein. I forgot who else was there, but that was really cool, and yeah, he's going to be greatly missed, and yeah, I hope he's one of the stars out there. Who knows, you know?
Yeah,
I'm sure he's having a great adventure. So
I hope so.
Inspired a lot of theoretical physicists. You know, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I mean, I can't really name anybody else after that because I don't know.
Yeah, no, we don't belong in the world of science.
No,
we couldn't tell you. However,
no, I would probably go cross-eyed if I started reading a book about what that he wrote.
Oh yeah,
you lost me. So yeah,
I'm not nerdy enough to have Stephen Hawking in my library. I'm sorry, it's
just for looks.
Maybe.
Hey, I am smart.
Sure, yeah, I've read it 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you will be missed, Mr. Hawkins, and thank you for your contributions. So, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
We were down a sitter, so on my days off, instead of doing the stuff that I want to do around the house, I've got my daughter, but
I know how that goes.
She's entertainment in herself.
Kids will do that.
Been playing games and waiting for movies and stuff to come out. So
you don't have to wait too much. I mean, they're out almost every week. It seems.
Oh yeah,
something new. You know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the new Roseanne.
Oh, that's exciting. That's next week.
That drops Tuesday. We're excited.
That looks great. I hope it's good. Hope it's worth the wait.
I was reading online, and I can never remember her name, but the gal that played Darlene did a short skit on The Talk with John Goodman.
Sarah Gilbert, yeah.
Yeah, Sarah Gilbert. And they had, they kind of redid their roles as their original characters, and they had so much fun. She had so much fun that she pulled on in with the original cast and said, excuse me, we need to bring it back.
Yeah.
But we can't bring it back unless we all, can you guys help us write shows? And everybody was like, hell yes. I know that I think the original plan was that Mark was supposed to have had joined the military and died in Iraq.
Sure.
And I think his son is named after him, after Mark, as an honor to him. I think is what I read.
That's nice. Honor to the character, because the actor who played him passed away.
Yeah, she does not want to replace him.
Sure.
They'd have to do David and Darlene as divorced because Big Bang is not going to allow.
Oh, that's
Galecki,
why?
Yeah, they're not going to allow Galecki to go do Roseanne on another network.
That sucks.
So
I think he made an appearance at least.
Yeah,
I saw a clip. Yeah.
I think they should let him do an appearance here and there. However, but I'm not all sure what else they're doing with that. However, they're bringing back majority of the original cast. I would love to see how they do like his daughter or his Dan's dad and his wife and children and stuff like that. I hope they bring them back. I hope they bring back as many of their friends as they can.
Yeah, that'll be nice to see those little Easter eggs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a reference or just passing by. You know, something like that. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I look forward to that. I like these revitalizations of these classic shows we grew up with, as long as they're good. And I hope they don't all try to be in for the long run. Like, I'd rather them complete what they wanted to say, and if enough people like it, they'll come back and just do like little spurts, of shows.
A season or two here and
Yeah. So, I hate for them to commit to like 20, 30 episodes a season. I think they just get burned out again. They're older, and John Goodman's in a lot of movies, so that gives them time to do those projects. And of course, Sarah Gilbert's got the show. So,
well, this actually would work because they're dropping that whole last season.
Good,
thank God, where they quote unquote won the lottery, because oh my God, that's where it was terrible.
Well, the real stinker was right at the end when she's like, "Oh, by the way, Dan really did die of a heart attack.
Yeah,
he was unfaithful, and I was mad at him, and that's why I wrote." I'm like, "Oh my God!"
Well,
why?
And instead they're going to drop that whole season, and since John Goodman has lost a ton of weight, it would work because he survives a heart attack. Well, now he's got to cut back on everything, the foods he normally eats. He's going to get small. Mm-hmm. So they're gonna slim. He would be slim after all these years.
Sure. Well, he's got a CPAP machine in one of the clips they showed.
Oh, and
she's like, "Dan," and he's like, "What?" And he takes it off. She's like, "Oh, I thought you were dead." He's like, "Why does everyone think I'm dead?" So yeah, I'm glad. That's a good thing to correct. I'm happy about that. You couldn't bring it back without him. And
well, I think they did the same thing with Will and Grace. They got rid of like the whole last season.
Okay.
And they did that with, they're in the middle of something, and I can never remember the characters' names off that one, but the really flamboyant friend that Will always picks on, and they pick back and forth.
Jack?
Yeah, Jack. It's almost like Jack has a daydream, and that whole season happened.
Oh, really?
And so
they pulled Dallas.
Yeah, so he just kind of snaps out of it. Yeah. And I've been told that, because now it's in a modern day, I've been told that it still holds its original humor.
Good.
It holds up. At one point, Karen gets Grace as an interior decorator in the White House, and they're trying to figure out what orange to use. As they shout out, at Trump. And then something happens, and it turns out that Jack dated one of the Secret Service, and things got kind of bad with Will and stuff, so she loses that job. But however, they're keeping it modern, and they're still a little bit with modern celebrities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of Will and Grace. I never got into this new one. However, my sister, my mom, my wife, they all love it. So,
well, good. That's great. I remember back in the day. I doubt they do it anymore. Maybe they do, but they used to have local television viewers test shows before they were released.
I remember that. I did that for what was it? Rock.
Oh, Third Rock from the
No, not Third Rock. The one with The Rock. I think it was called The Rock, and it was. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he was in Mimic. He's been in several movies.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, he was like a garbage man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that show
always
ran
bringing
for
stuff
a
home
while.
and fixing it stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
We got my family up to be one of to test that out and watch it. And
Cool.
we watched it for a while.
That's exciting. It was like,
Yeah.
I'm important. They matter. They're going to call me up. And
They want my opinion. This is great.
they did
And
that,
it was
yeah.
fun to watch the shows, but I hated the surveys.
Yeah, it was like, hey, you got like half hour, 45 minutes of your time. You know what's funny is when I was asked about Will and Grace, and it's because of the time, and I don't really remember being hung up on the gay thing. I didn't like the show, and I told him that, and I'm like, I don't think this is going to be a good show. I didn't say exactly like that, but it had nothing to do with like homophobia, but I don't know, I just didn't.
It just wasn't your style of comedy.
Yeah, but I do appreciate it as it, I was wrong, okay?
Yeah.
I totally admit that. Because, it's a pilot. They change things all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I was wrong. Thankfully, they didn't listen to me. you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, yeah.
Or I was just part of those people, like, wasn't enough negativity. So, yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's a hit. I kind of contributed, maybe. Nah, probably not.
You weren't their viewer base.
No.
But they also use all that information to find their viewer base. So it turns out this show's geared towards this group of people.
Right.
These kinds of people, this age group, so on and so forth.
I was a young kid. I don't even think I
Yeah.
could drive yet. Like, I don't think my age group would have watched the show. It's just, it's too adult.
Yeah.
Your brain hasn't developed enough, or your experiences haven't come, to really understand, that type of humor.
Yeah.
And the social makeup of the show, things like that. Kind of like
Yeah.
West Wing. If you showed an elementary school student the West Wing show, they'd be like, I'm so bored. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sure that if they interview him like, oh, I only watched about 5 minutes, then I went to go play with something. That show's stupid.
That's a short survey. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Click.
Where
Yeah.
people who are into that kind of stuff, they're gonna, who are gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna take their opinion seriously.
Right. Of course. Well, lately I got MoviePass, and
My brother-in-law told me about that. If I didn't have my daughter on my days off, I think that we would look into that.
yeah, because it's only one ticket, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But actually, she's young enough. You could take her. If no one's in there, then you could just be like, hey, have fun.
I would.
It wouldn't probably be enjoyable.
No, there's a lot of movies that I want to see that like. There'll be something that I probably invest in next year because next year It 2. They're supposed to be out of the second Conjuring movie, the Nun, which was the demon.
That looks terrifying.
It's going to get its own spinoff, and then the spinoff for the Crooked Man, and then the Conjuring 2. This kid, to help get over his stutter, he spins this toy, and it shows the Crooked Man walking, and he repeats, the Crooked Man walked a crooked mile, blah blah blah.
Wow.
Well, as the head demonologist, whatever the guy, Ed, he's looking around the house, and he looks inside this little boy's tent, and that thing starts to spin on his own, and all of a sudden, the Crooked Man disappears and comes up over the top of the tent and chases the guy out of the room. So the Crooked Man's going to get his own spinoff.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be making a horror-based Wizard of Oz remake.
Isn't it already horror based? I'm freaked out by that movie. I can't watch it. I don't know why.
I don't know, but I don't know how you're going to get it any worse unless you go off of the spinoff they did on Supernatural. You find out that the Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow were human beings, part of freedom fighters that raised Dorothy, and the Wicked Witch killed them and turned them into what they were in the books. Yeah,
really.
In that episode, you find out that the guys eventually become men of letters, which are in America all wiped out. They would have been legacy because their grandfather was a man of letters. Their father should have been. They would have been. They eventually get the bunker, and their bunker is full of every spell, every book, every magic item they ever researched. Like they make a reference to the Spear of Truth. They have the Spear of Truth in a case, and Dean goes, "The hell is a Spear of Truth? To make you can't lie with it?" You're like, and he just slides it off to the side. But you find out that Oz is a real place. And at one point, Dorothy, all grown up, captures the Wicked Witch and cuts out her tongue and brings her back to the Men of Letters because she needs to find a way to kill her. and they can't do it. So she traps the two of them in this kind of a pocket dimension within this goo.
Yeah.
Which eventually they get set free. But you find out that they were freedom fighters that raised her. The Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow. And the Wicked Witch eventually kills them and turns one into a lion, turns one into a man of, like a robot, which he looks more kind of a steampunk-esque robot. Because Dorothy has his head. And then turn the other one into a scarecrow, and they all died. And eventually, and you find out that Dorothy's father was a man of letters, and he wrote these books based off of Oz, which they eventually used the hidden stuff that he hid in the books to kill the Wicked Witch. Spoiler alert, if you haven't gotten that far. It's like seasons 8 or 9, something like that.
Supernatural, you're talking, yeah. Wow.
But yeah, so and then Dorothy and another character go back to Oz to finish what was started and free Oz from the witches' original hold, because she's got an army of witches and monsters, and they go back to free them. And eventually the character comes back. It was a neat bounce back and stuff.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
yeah.
I'm not sure how they're going to do it, but that's supposed to be being made.
Nice.
So next year I'll probably look into it, because there'll be a lot of stuff my wife will not watch. And
well, what's nice about MoviePass is even if the movie you're seeing is like not really something you would normally pay for, it doesn't matter, because it's like I'll just go see if I like it, because it doesn't cost any extra. I mean, it's down to $6.95 now a month. I got mine for $7.95, and I paid for the whole year, so I'm set. So like I've been dying to use this thing. So last night I saw Game Night with my cousin, and I got to use the MoviePass for the first time. It's pretty slick. I had the app, which you have to have, I guess. You have to pretty much be in the parking lot of the theater to check in, which reserves your ticket. Then you go inside, scan your card, and then it prints your ticket for you.
All right.
It was pretty slick.
My brother-in-law mentioned it. My wife, when I was down there in November, my wife mentioned it probably about a week ago, and I was like, yeah, I would, but and she's like, well, you probably wouldn't go use it that often. I was like, oh, I would if I didn't have our daughter. I'd just go find a movie to watch on Mondays and go on my days off, or or we could find someone to watch on a day during the week on the weekend. Then hey, there we go.
Well, with the slate of movies they have now for us, it would be something very useful, because you'd probably be seeing maybe 2 movies a month, and you definitely pay for your MoviePass. It'd be worth it at that point. The only bad thing is if you like to go opening night, which I usually like to, you're probably not gonna. If it's like the old days, you go to the theater, hope it's not sold out.
Yeah,
that's what MoviePass is. You can't reserve seats. I think on site you can, but as far as I know, Flix takes it, so that's great.
Hey.
Pretty much accepted everywhere. But yeah, I saw Game Night, which I wasn't normally going to see, but we kind of did this thing where I don't think we've done it since we were kids. We just showed up at the theater and just chose a movie like whenever was closest to the time we had. So Game Night was it. Black Panther, I would have loved to have seen again, but my cousin already saw it 3 times, so didn't do that. But yeah, we went to see Game Night, and
that's no excuse.
Yeah,
you telling him I said that's no excuse.
I will, because I was like, I'd like to see that again.
We're talking about seeing that again.
Yeah,
and if not, I will definitely own that.
For sure. Yeah,
that was such a phenomenal movie.
It was a crazy big epic movie, and I'm very happy it's broken $1 billion, and it's still going. I think it's exceeding Avengers, and most likely it'll still be in theaters. I'm pretty confident it will be by the time Infintiy War comes out. So after you see Infintiy War, you can go back and see Black Panther again, especially if you have MoviePass.
Yep.
You can, check it out. But
Black Panther just allowed Disney probably to buy back a bunch more of their missing characters.
Yeah, well, that Fox deal is still up in the air, and who knows what Sony's doing with all their all their characters.
Sony's being nice enough to work with them, so
Except they're making Venom, which is like, I don't think it's Marvel Studios approved, but I don't know. Who knows?
Well, we'll leave them alone for a little while. Let's concentrate on like the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah,
so we can get a few good Hulk movies, because he's got some excellent villains, and even if not just as villains, you could do a spinoff of Agents of Smash. and introduce the Red Hulk and introduce A-Bomb and the She-Hulk, and, the Incredible She-Hulk and them and Scar. Even if you don't want to do Planet Hulk, and introduce Scar, and then now you've got a team of your own.
Right. The only problem is they gotta work with Universal for a solo Hulk movie right now.
Yeah,
which sucks. But what they're doing is
take that money for Black Panther and buy him.
Yeah, well, yeah, probably could. Just big suitcase of money. Who says no to that? So,
oh yeah,
they're building arcs for the Hulk. That's probably the best they could do for now. But I don't know if you saw Thor Ragnarok. I was happy with what they did with him in that. I want more. I want him and General Ross, to get back into swing of things. It's interesting to know, because Ross had his heart attack in the canon. Like, is he changed, or is he still really wants to be get the Hulk, or has he become Red Hulk? The heart condition, who knows? I don't know. It could be, but all that's going to be explored.
I really liked Ragnarok. However,
too funny.
No, I did not like. Was it Korg?
Yeah,
the rock guy. Because I remember reading the comics. I remember watching the animated movie. Korg, that was not Korg. Oh, I tried to start a resistance, but the only people who joined was my mother and my grandma. No, he led a real resistance and was defeated.
Yeah, and
then Meek, where in the comics he looked kind of like an ant hybrid, and he actually talked in third person. And in this, he was a slug with a robotic body and who made just weird noises. And it's like, no, because the Hulk inspires Meek to be brave.
Mm-hmm. But
then Stan Lee announced after Ragnarok that there's talk of Planet Hulk. I'm not sure how you're going to do that. Unless that'll be the story of how he ended up there.
To me, they already did Planet Hulk in their way. The only way they could. And if you do that, it feels like a big retread. So I think they've already done close as they can get. But yeah, it's like, move these characters forward, and because they're all going to be on Asgard now, or Earth, wherever they're going to end up at. Who knows after Infinity War what's going to happen there,
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm, as much as I would love to see a Planet Hulk, I'm not quite sure how they could do it because of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad.
I'm not either.
Because I really enjoyed Ragnarok, and I really enjoyed how they did it.
So much for what they've set up, and it's a machine. Like, they have to keep moving.
Yep.
And they can't be too careless and take their time on a particular story, because they want to make money, and so far they're very good at that.
Yes, so far.
Yeah, it's like boom, boom, boom. You got, right after Infinity War, you're going to have Ant-Man and the Wasp. As long as they keep them, fresh feeling, like it's not so formulaic. I think Black Panther definitely broke, through another, way to tell a story, and it was a big story to tell. So yeah, it was incredible, and I'd love to see it again. Maybe I will. Like I said, I got MoviePass. I can go anytime. But game night was not a disappointment at all. Really, it was a really good movie.
I wondered about that. I wondered about that.
Funny. Yeah, it stars Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams. It's directed by John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein. They're actually going to direct Flashpoint whenever the hell that gets made for DC.
Fingers crossed.
They can handle action pretty well from what I saw in this movie, and the comedy's great. Not to say I really want Flashpoint to be funny, but I think they could make it just right, for some of the jokes.
The Flash is a smart ass.
Yeah.
So he's going to have some comedy because he's going to make, he's going to poke fun at everything.
Well, and Thomas Wayne Batman, I think he's not a smart ass, but he's got a dark sense of humor, I think, a little bit. So
well, and that'll be interesting too, because Thomas Wayne kills his villains.
Yes.
Like, there's no locking them up in an Arkham.
Cyborg had to save one of the counterpart to Harley Quinn. He just tossed her off a roof, and Cyborg, I'm referring to the animated movie.
Yeah.
Cyborg rescues her, and he's like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I never thought I would love that concept, and I only think I like that because it's like an alternative reality. If they ever tried to make Batman like that, I'd have a problem, but since it's like, either an Earth 2 situation or whatever, I really dug that character. It really stuck with me, and just the thought of Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing him, like, I really want that to happen.
That'd be awesome.
I hope it does happen, and hope they do it right. I could really see him as a great Batman, that type of Batman.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, these guys I think are going to do a good job. They also wrote Spider-Man: Homecoming. like that movie a lot.
I still have not seen that, but
yeah, it's good. It's good.
We're gearing for Infinity War, the wife and I.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have to. We'll have to watch Spider-Man. We're gonna have to watch. She's gonna have to watch a couple of the Captain Americas. I think the last two.
Yeah. Oh, she hasn't seen Winter Soldier or Civil War.
I don't think she has.
Oh man, it's about to get really good.
Yeah, and then
I like the first one, but the other ones.
I think everything else she's caught up on.
Yeah, it's over 10 movies, so it's a lot of watching.
Yeah.
That does remind me they have this 31-hour AMC's doing this 31-hour marathon.
Oh, yeah.
Would you ever do something like that, or have you done something like that before?
What's
your limits if you ever do a marathon?
I don't know. I mean, if I got up and stretched, in between movies for a few minutes, I could possibly do 12 to 16 hours. How the problem becomes is if you start pumping me full of caffeine, keep me awake. After 24 hours, I get weird. I get giggly. I'm not going to pay attention to the movie. I'm going to bother the people around me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to become a nuisance.
Yeah.
So, no, I don't think I could do 36 hours. I don't think the theater would want me in there after 16, because then I'm going to start getting tired.
Imagine the cleanup crew. I mean, I'm sure every movie they're going to clean up, but...
oh, yeah.
I myself did a 3-movie marathon with Batman, the Batman trilogy. By the time we got to the third movie, I was exhausted. Like, I still watched it, but I think it did hurt my... I just remember leaving the theater, like, everyone asked me, like, what'd you think of it? Like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
Because I had fatigue going, but then also there was other things, and I saw it again, and I still have problems with the movie, but, it just, it was really fun, but I was like, man, how do people do Harry Potter marathons? Like, this was just 3 movies, and it wore me out.
Yeah, well, I did, me and some friends did the extended versions of Lord of the Rings.
Oh my gosh.
And I tell you what.
You took 2 weeks off? Is that what you
Yeah, it was, oh man, I was so tired. Oops. Like, that third one kicked in and I went, all right, because after, it's like, you're at that point, the third one kicks in, it's like 6.5, 7 hours in, we're like, all right, let's do this. And I do remember. I remember just being like, all right, just when is this going to end? I've seen it before, but when is it going to end?
You're like snorting sugar sticks and
trying
to stay away.
Oh. And I like movies and stuff. I mean, and that's weird because I can sit down and play video games for 12, 14 hours at a time.
Because they keep you active.
Yeah. But I can't, it's hard for me to do a marathon of movies.
Yeah. What's funny is I had Lord of the Rings on DVD. Still haven't converted to Blu-ray. I've only seen those movies one time in the theater. That was it. It was just such a huge experience. Like, it was fun for, 3 years in a row. That was kind of the ritual around Christmas, I think. Mm-hmm. You go there. I remember the last movie, I think, might have been the longest theatrically. I got all my popcorn ready. Like, I was set, and I got through it. I wasn't tired, but I just have had... I don't hate the movies. I just don't have a desire to see them right now. It's just weird. Like, I have them in my collection.
Yeah.
One of these days I'm going to plug them in. I know that. I did watch the first Hobbit. Kind of found a lot of it boring and just kind of tuned out. I think I have the third one maybe, but...
I just seen all 3 Hobbits. I enjoyed the Hobbit series.
Did you?
Mainly because I couldn't wait to see Smaug or whatever the hell. However
the dragon, right?
The dragon.
Yeah.
However you want to pronounce his name. Smaug, whatever. Smeag. And I could not wait to see like the giant eagles, the battle between the 5 armies. I couldn't wait to see the spiders, the whole 9 yards.
Sure.
And which I would later find out that those spiders are offspring to Shalhoub or whatever her name was that guarded the mountain.
Oh, okay.
Those are her children.
Really?
And she's an offspring of like a spider god.
Sure.
But I couldn't wait to see all that on film. So, and actually that became a thing for me and my niece, as we saw all of them together. We saw all 3 of them together.
That's cool. And they were out every year too, right?
Yeah, about every, yeah.
Yeah. Do you think 3 movies was necessary?
They could have done it in 2.
However, not 1 though. You agree?
No, not 1.
Okay.
They probably could have done it in 2. However, he brought in that stuff from the stories and that I'd never have read. So I know nothing of. I knew nothing of the brown mage, the druid.
Right.
So I knew nothing of him until that movie. So I mean, I get that they added that little extra stuff, And it was neat. It was neat to see the ring wraiths come to life. It was neat to see the Sauron become reborn, or Saruman, whatever his name was, and all that. And it was nice to see everything. However, he could have easily done it in 2-3 hour movies.
Yeah. I think that's what I didn't like about the whole thing. Maybe that's why I tuned out, because I was like, well, yeah, it's like this just feels like too much of a cash grab to do a 3-movie deal, And Del Toro, I don't know if he was just going to do 1 movie or not, but I kind of wanted a different take, his take maybe. So that would have been interesting. I will see them all, but yeah, getting back to marathons, they are exhausting. They sound great. I think after you experience a couple of them, then your opinion changes. In theory,
it's great because you get to see all these movies you love.
That's
However,
fantastic. Yeah.
The human body can only stay awake for so long.
Right. You don't want to be. It would suck to fall asleep when Infinity War kicks in. It's like, I missed it. I missed all this.
Wake up towards the end.
Yeah.
But hey, what movie is this? Where am I? Who's that?
You got a full beard if you don't have one before, and you smell bad. That's the other thing. Do they have a shower break? It's going to be a lot of...
Sir, you've been here for 3 days. You need to get up out of that seat. Oh, what?
I can't. I've actually morphed into the seat.
My pants are stuck.
It's a part of me now. Yeah, 31 hours. That's crazy. I could probably do another 3-movie marathon. I mean, we did have breaks in the middle. It wasn't like, keep going. We had maybe half-hour breaks,
I used to do that when I worked nights. I'd come home from church on Sunday, and I would just find 3 movies to watch, and there was always themed, but each movie was like an hour and a half.
Yeah,
no more than 2 hours long. So then by 6 o'clock, I've eaten my dinner, or I've eaten a light dinner. I've had a break between each movie. I crash. I get up at 10 o'clock, and I go to work, and I'm there by 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
So but each movie was only like an hour and a half long. But these.
It's not like a 2.5
no,
hour
not these,
epic
not
movie.
these, no, not these Marvel movies that are more than 2.5 hours. I couldn't.
Well, I mean, I remember watching Winter Soldier, and that last action scene was incredible, but it wore me out.
Oh, yeah.
I had anxiety because I was like, "What's going on?" Like this.
That's another thing. Those movies creating. That's another thing. You get so wrapped up into these fight scenes and so worked up, and you're like, yeah. And when it's all said and done, you're like, man, I need a nap. It's almost like you are a part of it.
I wonder if these events are like sponsored by like pharmaceutical companies for like anxiety pills.
Oh yeah.
Uppers, downers, all that stuff.
Man, Tony Stark must have had a heck of a workout fighting those two. I'm gonna go take a nap for him.
Here's some Pepto-Bismol. Like, oh my god, yeah, this popcorn. Woof. Yeah, so Infinity War's coming, man, and I'm excited. I'm super excited. Chris Evans, I guess, lately said that he was gonna step away from Cap after Avengers 4. Which is sad, but who knows what's going to happen in these 2 movies, because we know some people are going to die.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
If you go off the comics, Thanos wipes out half of the superheroes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Adam Warlock, who's actually introduced towards the end of Guardians 2.
Right.
That's who's in the cocoon. He gets his hands on he talks Thanos out of the gauntlet, because the gauntlet and the gems cannot affect him. They don't tempt him for power and stuff, and he fixes everything and then disappears.
Okay, so he might be coming in Avengers 4.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I'm curious, however. Now, have you heard that Marvel has announced after the last Infinity War, they don't know what they're making. They have 20 movies lined up.
Really?
People are speculating because they do everything in 3s. The people are speculating a third Guardians. They're speculating a second, third Black Panther, like rounding off all these movies. And by then, hopefully they'll have like the X-Men and all them. So then maybe rebooting the X-Men, maybe rebooting Fantastic Four, bringing in an enemy that you can take those characters, some big enemy, and bring those characters into one big team like they have in the past as well.
Sure.
And so on and so forth.
Fantastic Four for sure.
Yeah.
That needs to be done. Oh, yeah,
and they're going to pick it. Well, and they get. I looked at the list of movies or characters they're trying to acquire. It's from Fox, and it Starjammers, everybody in space.
Silver Surfer
And Galactus. There's and I don't remember his name, but he's the balance of all power in the universe. He's got 4 faces, and his head just rotates above his body.
Whoa.
And in the comics, when Galactus gets transformed into the Lifebringer, this guy decides that because Galactus has consumed and destroyed so many worlds that this is the balance, and he's going to allow it.
Mm-hmm.
And whoever decides that they didn't like it eventually kills this character. But the Galactus starts creating worlds and not destroying them.
Sure.
And he starts replacing the ones that he consumed.
And he's a big cloud, right?
No. However, he's different because he's all silver and white.
Right.
God, no, that I was so looking forward to the Galactus, and there's a cloud, and I'm like, what the hell is this?
At least they give us the Silver Surfer.
Yeah.
That wasn't like a blur or anything.
No.
Yeah, that movie was, it was terrible, but yeah. I mean, obviously it doesn't hold up as well as we remember it, but, that reminds me, Chris Evans was Johnny Storm in those films, and
yeah,
I remember when they cast him as Cap, I had strong reservations about it. I really was like, because all I ever saw him play was a cocky character, you know, and I was worried that he wasn't going to really act, but I was wrong. He really
he does a wonderful
character.
He does a wonderful Captain America.
And he plays it just right. Like, I like Ryan Reynolds, but I feel like he always plays the same guy. And I just appreciate people who take a risk and I'm going to go against what people like me for, and I'm going to be a little serious. Luckily, Reynolds had Deadpool. That was a perfect match for him.
Oh, yeah.
I always thought his other stuff, in Blade Trinity, that just didn't work for me. It just was too funny.
Oh, Hannibal King or whatever his name. Yeah.
Too funny. It's I get it.
Too much of a smart ass.
Less is more. Less is more. Yeah. So I was really nervous about Evans' casting, but yeah, he proved us all wrong, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And I think we've all really have, come attached to his take on Cap, and it's sad that it's coming to an end, but understandable. He had a great run. He played him since 2011, so
yeah,
7 years. Well, it'll be 8 years after everything's wrapped up, but that's incredible. He gave us probably the best set of movies in the Marvel Studios.
Yeah, I think out of all the characters, and my wife disagreed. My wife's not a fan of Superman. She's not a fan of Captain America because they're by the book characters.
Kind of goody two shoes. Yeah,
that's her opinion. It's and it's no, that's the point.
Yeah,
with Superman, that's the point. The man can, flick you into with just a flick that sends you, obliterates you,
which is a hard character to write for.
Yeah, if everything he does in life, he handles everything like it's made of tissue paper.
Yeah.
So he's probably the most powerful character amongst the Justice League and all of them. And so, yeah, he follows everything by the book because he knows that power will corrupt. And if he goes steps beyond the laws, he's going to become the bad guy.
Exactly.
He walks that line very, very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
So then she's like, "Oh, he's still a wuss, whatever." But he has to be.
That's why there's kryptonite.
Yeah,
you can weaken him and you can challenge him, and yeah.
But
magic too. I think magic he can't.
Yeah, he's just as weak to magic as the standard human.
Yeah,
he doesn't have an actual weakness to it. He has no resistance to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I like But with Captain America, I love Captain America. He's always been about the same things throughout his entire career, being, freedom, protecting people, promoting a good way of life. And Evans did a hell of a job.
He did, because that's what he played in the beginning, was the American way, all this stuff. And I think for them not to hammer it, so dead on with people about, America isn't glamorous looking or thought of today's age. And I think what they did was they used S.H.I.E.L.D. to, act as America now, when he was growing up, he had all those values, and things have changed. And I think with S.H.I.E.L.D. going down and him leaving S.H.I.E.L.D. and going against things, I think that was kind of their way of showing that he's adapting, and he knows that things aren't the same as they were, or maybe they were
Mm-hmm.
never the way he thought they were. But
Yeah.
I remember in Winter Soldier just now talking about it, how Black Widow was trying to set him up with all these girls, and she's like, "Hey, what about so and so in accounting?" And he said, "I think he said she's got a nose ring. I'm not ready for that."
Yeah,
I just like how that was said.
And
Nice.
he's an old school guy trapped in a modern world too. That's another good.
I know that
like.
reference.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember
because he's like, I want to fit in, guys.
Yeah, he does.
I know this. I know. Yeah.
It's funny because he really is somebody who grew up in the 40s.
Yeah.
Stuck in the modern world.
Right.
And and the sad part is he's going to age slower than everybody else. So he's going to have everything's going to drive him nuts.
Sure.
But yeah, it's I really love his, and you even get to see it in Civil War. He tries to keep those traditions, but he knows that by signing that contract, they're not going to play by the rules.
Right.
No government's going to.
Right.
And they're not going to be able to help the people they want to help. And he knows that's how that works. He understands how the world works now.
Exactly.
He's finally figuring out how the world works, and he knows he signs that paperwork that they can't help the people that needs to be helped, and they're going to go fight people that he shouldn't be fighting. And he understands, if he signs that paperwork, he's no longer the man that he believes himself to be.
It's not just black and white. There's gray areas in life, and that's what he's finally.
He kind of comes to terms that, but he still wants to maintain,
freedom,
his beliefs.
Yeah, right.
So
it's really cool how they handled all that. Like I feel like they've really been able to develop his character over these movies. If he goes now, it's going to suck, but you feel a complete character.
Mm-hmm.
You feel for him too. It's not just something like, oh, he's dead. You didn't get to see him much. Like one movie and he's dead. And it doesn't feel. Like example, BVS with Superman, it was kind of like he didn't really, I don't know, not to get into that whole thing. But
let's not open that can of worms. That movie.
No, but yeah, it's just nice that they were able to complete his character. And of course, we got 2 more entries with him. So, I'm super excited.
You see the scene in the preview where Thanos is leaning on that shield, and eventually the Falcon becomes Captain America.
Bucky does too, right?
But for a while, Bucky becomes Captain America, and that was I love that part in the comics because Wolverine just kept calling him Bucky Cap. All right, Bucky Cap.
Well, yeah, and
it just drove him nuts. It drove Winter Soldier nuts.
I can see them going that route because technically they can have Wolverine back, so they can finally introduce all that. Yeah, that would be cool.
And then then Captain America returned. And I don't remember what happened, but they passed the mantle on to the Falcon, who not only he keeps the shield on his back and he flies around. And when he lands, he uses the shield, throws it back onto his back, and flies. I'm curious about. I don't know. I'm wondering if they're going to pass the torch on in the last Infinity Wars. If we're going to lose the Cap in this one or not, because people are going to die.
Yeah,
people have to. Well, I mean, hell, Vision's being powered by one of the stones, so people have to die.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really curious on how.
I could see them giving both Bucky and the Falcon the Captain America persona, like they honor their past, friend. Or I'm hoping that Cap, like maybe blows up in a ship. You don't actually see him die, so he could come back somehow, some way. Because that's very comic booky, and they've even done more extreme things. But yeah, I hope it's not like. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping it's one of those deaths like. Maybe he died, maybe he didn't. We don't really know.
Yeah.
So
I hope I really hope this is the last trailer.
Yeah.
Some movies
pushing it.
Yeah.
It was a great trailer though.
No, it was. Some movies will give away too much in their trailers.
Spider-Man Homecoming did, I thought. One of the last trailers, they gave away the whole damn movie. I knew how it was going to end, but I still saw it,
Well, like Batman versus Superman. They gave away Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
They shouldn't
Doomsday.
Like the Doomsday, if they'd have done,
they gave away everything. Surprise there would have been if you just.
They would have. You could have had an explosion or roar and have both of them turn to look like, oh shit.
Yeah, what is that?
And that tells you that their fights can be interrupted. They're gonna have to fight someone bigger.
Mm-hmm.
And then you never even once mentioned Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
So once you're watching the movie, all of a sudden, bam, there she is, and you're like, oh shit.
Cool.
No, you gave it all away. You showed us Doomsday. You showed us Mr. Potato Head. Because that wasn't Doomsday. Sorry, I'm not gonna get into that rant. You showed us whatever that creature was, and you showed us Wonder Woman, and that's just too much.
Yeah.
Tone it back. Less is better.
Right.
Leave us guessing.
Yeah, and I'm hoping. I know we're gonna have more surprises with the Infinity War, but yeah, just the whole. Thanos, he looks great. I think he looks the best. I really liked his look in Avengers, even though I know that was very practical. They threw that together. It was an actor in a suit. I really liked that look, though, with the eyes, the glowing blue eyes. It just looked so real. And then Guardians, it was kind of mushy CGI, in my opinion, but they've really crafted it, got it right. Except I wish he was a little bit more purple. He seems a little pink. But
a little pale, yeah.
Maybe they'll explain that, or maybe it's just because if it's in the light, it's more pink skin. If he's in space, it's purple. I don't know. But you get to see that nice scene where little Gamora takes his hand, or his finger, because he's got a huge-ass hand, and they walk away. It shows, like, the beginning of where he got her from. It would really be heartbreaking to see Nebula as, like, pre-teched out Nebula, because, in Guardians 2... they didn't show it, but she said every time she lost against Gamora, Thanos took something from her
and replaced it. Yep.
Like, that would be so heartbreaking to see her as a child. And
what she looked like before that all started.
Yes. And I'm like, oh man, that would really hit it. Really,
that'd be really hard to see.
It would. So I don't know. I could see them doing like subtleness to that. Not really show you obviously, but basically. When they show that scene of him and Gamora like walking away, I'm almost thinking like, did she fight her just now and beat her, and then they just start walking away? Like, if they do that, then we all know as an audience what's going to happen to Gamora, or I'm sorry, Nebula.
Yeah,
and that's just heartbreaking because it's so brutal, But that was what's great about Guardians. Like, they have those moments, but then they also have the humor sets in, and it kind of helps you not think of it the whole time or you get away from it, But yeah, these movies they're crafted brilliantly, and Infinity War looks incredible. I'm super excited, and I'm probably going to be very anxious during it, just like who's going to die, Ant-Man getting hit by Thanos, that shot from the latest trailer of Cap grabbing the gauntlet and just screaming like, oh man, I just like, that's so badass. I love all of that stuff. So yeah, it's cool. I've seen the action figures pop up at Target, things like that. I don't really buy those figures, surprisingly. I don't know why. I just, they're expensive for one, but
yeah, no. If I'm getting any kind of action figure, it's not going to be based off movies. I'll dig into my nostalgia and find the ones from like the original monster movies, or I'll get a collectible for a video game or something.
That's what I'm more into. Yeah,
however,
stuff.
I'm not. And to the people who do, there's nothing wrong with it.
No,
that's not my thing.
Not at all.
I'm not going to buy every Spider-Man figurine stuff and all that.
You know what I like though? I like the giant figurines because they're also like a nice decorative piece for your movie room. Like I got Superman out there, and I got Batman, and they're like, I don't know, 2 feet tall maybe, or more. I like those. You got to pay a lot for those. They're like $50, $50, but those things I'm into, or just things I can get more out of besides, just playing or whatever. But like I got the Cap shield over there I bought.
Yeah.
So I got to hang that sucker up. There's an Iron Man helmet they've made. You can actually put it on. It makes noise, lights up.
Okay.
The mask pops off. Those are like $100. They actually have the gauntlet, Infinity Gauntlet. You can buy now. You can put your hand in it, move it around, cool. And it looks badass and it lights up. So, like, stuff like that I like,
So, and that becomes decorative. It's like Batman and Superman, you
get more out of it.
If you're into those characters, it's a nice decoration.
It's like you can play with them, you can wear it and then have your fun, and then you're like, I can hang it up, and now it looks great on my wall.
Yeah,
things like
action
that.
Figures, you're going to lose the part, so on and so forth.
Oh
or they stay in the package.
Well, they come with so many parts. I was going to buy this Silent Bob figures after Kevin Smith had his heart attack, and I was like, I really need to get a Silent Bob figure just to have, But it came with like 10 hands. I'm like, what am I going to do with all these hands? Because I'd like to open it, but it's like I really don't want to just put it on the wall because some of me likes to collect things, but some of me also likes to, it's like it meant to be played with or displayed properly,
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of a waste just to buy it and keep it in its package. Because honestly, I'm not probably going to like try to trade it in the future. I've never really been that way.
No, that'll be your daughter's job.
Yeah. But it's like, where am I going to put these damn hands if I open this guy up? You just can't.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about toys, of course, reminds me of, the sad news. Toys R Us is closing its doors.
That's an end of an era.
It is.
I remember on my birthday as a child, my grandmother would take me in there, and I could, $20 went a long way back, back in the 80s.
Oh my God, it doesn't get you much now.
No.
It seems
to an action figure and a stick of gum. But when I was a kid,
piece of an action figure.
Yeah, when I was a kid, GI Joe was $2-3.
Oh yeah.
So we'd go in there and I could buy a couple of GI Joes and maybe a He-Man or something.
They had everything too.
Oh yeah,
all the stuff you could think of.
Yeah,
didn't even know about. It's like what? They make that?
Yeah, holy cow! And so I'd walk out of there, 4 or 5 toys for $20.
Yep.
Or more, and I remember doing that every year for many years as a kid.
Sure.
And I just, as far back as I can remember, Toys R Us was there.
Yeah. I mean, it established itself back in 1948. I mean, it's a long-running toy store. It's it sucks. It really does.
There's a show on Netflix, the toys that
made us or something. Yeah, I still gotta see that. Yeah.
I've watched all 4 episodes, but there's like for the He-Man one, they sold the He-Man to one company, which at the time was the number 2 toy store.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the comic came from. They were like, well, nobody's going to know who these characters are. How are they going to feel about them? Because they were trying to compete with Star Wars. Dude, right off the top was like, oh, it'll come with a comic book. And so they had these people make the little comics. Well, they went to go shoot it to Toys R Us. And they're like, well, this says for like ages 4 and up or 3 and up. And they're like, yeah. It's like 3 and 4 or 5-year-olds are not going to read the comics. How are you going to get them to care? Oh, there's a cartoon. And like pulled it out of the air. Oh, so then that's where the cartoon came from. So selling it to get the Toys R Us to back it and to put it on their shelves, He-Man the cartoon came about. And it was neat because he's a part of kind of a part of history.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so much fun, and they had everything.
They did. They really did.
One aisle you had nothing but GI Joe stuff. One aisle had nothing but He-Man. One aisle had nothing but there's 2 or 3 aisles had Barbie.
Mm-hmm.
Because that bitch has got everything. You had an area for stuffed animals. You had an area for sports equipment. You had an area for this. And that. You could think of it. They had, and at the time they had it.
Mm-hmm.
And even a seasonal area for either for sleds or for water balloons and water guns, everything. And it kills me. It's an end of an era.
It is. It's 800 stores will be closing, and sadly 33,000 jobs will be lost. It sucks. They filed for bankruptcy back in September of 2017, and they haven't made a full year profit since 2012, which they've lost $2.5 billion.
Oh my Lord.
So it's not been a good few years for them. That's too bad. It kind of shows, though. I don't know if you've been there lately, but sadly it's gone downhill.
Well, and I guess it's kind of hard to compete. You can walk into Walmart and pick up
Amazon, yeah.
Well, you can walk into Walmart, you can pick up or Target, you can pick up clothes and the latest action figure.
Yeah, that's right.
And anything else you need, groceries, or you go over to GameStop and pick up a video game, and pre-order all that stuff and whatnot. You can go to Menards and pick up the swing sets.
Yeah,
and everything that they sell is broken down into other stores.
Mm-hmm. And
it's just easier because you go into those other stores and you're picking up other stuff that you want.
Yeah.
And so, but it really is sad. And I guess there's a GoFundMe page.
I heard about that, yeah.
They've raised over $2 million to try and save Toys R Us.
Wow.
But I hate to tell you this, guys, I don't think it's going to happen.
You need a couple more billion dollars to do that, probably. There is some hope, though. It's not going to be Toys R Us, but apparently KB Toys is coming back.
No.
They closed their doors in 2009, and they were in business since 1922. They've been, for the last 6 months, coming up with a new business model. Pretty confident about it. And they hope to open stores by Christmas.
That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, that's good for any Toys R Us employees and possible job opportunities. So
good luck to them. I mean, because in today's
we need
world,
some toy store, man. It's crazy.
You can't just be.
It just sucks to lose these places because you can go online and get deals, and we're all guilty of causing this to happen. But it's convenience, right? But it's so fun to go to a local rental store for movies. That experience, and the toy store is just as good. Comic book stores, things like that. The smell of fresh paper at the comic book stores. It's great. And the toy stores, as long as they're, clean. Yes. This Toys R Us by my house hasn't really felt too clean in many years, and employees have kind of seemed a little careless, and they're very young, and, I could tell like their minds in other things. I went there actually before all this closing was announced, and it just was disappointing what they had. And they actually had, I don't know, I hope no one buys DVDs from them. They had Batman and Robin on DVD for $19.99. DVD, when you can get all 4 of those original Batman movies for $10-15 on Blu-ray right now.
Oh, wow.
When I saw that, I'm like, no wonder you guys aren't selling this stuff. This is terrible.
Yeah.
You really think someone's going to pay $20 for this? This movie that came out in 97?
Terrible movie to begin with.
Well, yeah. It's like,
but no, yeah.
It's just, it sucks. A lot of people have expressed their theories and stuff. They just they lost the business model to adapt pretty much. I guess they allowed Amazon to take over in the early 2000s. They just didn't invest much in the internet thing. They probably just didn't know what it was until it was too late. Yeah,
so I think that if you could have, they would have invested more in the internet, set up a deal where, you're looking for a certain toy. This is in your area. In your area, this is the store that has it. You can put it on hold.
Exactly.
Or we'll have it shipped to that store in 2 days, or you can buy it, and we'll just, like some places, you buy it we'll ship it out of a warehouse to your house. Mm-hmm. Toys R Us still makes the money off of it.
Yes. Yeah.
It's
sad. What makes it even more sad is Charles Lazarus. He is the founder.
Oh yeah.
He just passed away after all this was announced. Like, oh my God. I mean, who knows if he was even able to comprehend what was going on? He's an old guy, but that sucks, man. It's like your empire is going away. Mm-hmm. And it's terrible. But hopefully KB has success. I hope some toy store out there does. But
kids need a toy store.
Yeah. No, I agree. I totally agree. I have a lot of great memories in toy stores. Mm-hmm. It wasn't exactly a toy store, but Kmart, of course, is closing its doors too. And one of my best birthdays ever was my dad picked me up from school, and he was like, "Hey, I didn't get you anything yet," because my parents were divorced, so I had to see him, every other weekend. So he picked me up, and he's like, "I didn't get your present yet, but I thought we could go to Kmart and you could just pick out what you want." Like, a lot of kids don't get to do that. And I was like, sure. I didn't feel bad at all. I was like, heck yeah. We went to Kmart, and I got the Ecto 1 car.
Okay.
And some figures, and it was great. It was one of the best presents I ever got.
Because now you know you're going to get what you want.
Well, yeah. And I was like, can I get this? Maybe he had some guilt because he didn't get me a gift yet, so he paid a little extra to get me the car and stuff. But yeah, Toys R Us the same. My parents had like some kind of award program, and they got all this cash to spend and it had to be spent at Toys R Us. So I was like, okay, I can do that for you. Yeah. So what's funny is Jurassic Park, I didn't even see it yet. It was coming out, but they had the toys. So I pretty much bought all the figurines you could get for that movie. Had no idea what the hell the movie was about, but I had the figures.
You've got the awesome dinosaurs. What does it matter?
I don't even think I bought the dinosaurs. I just bought the people.
Oh, really?
That's how dumb I was. But yeah, I also remember as a kid, I was into G.I. Joes, but I never had the big stuff like the aircraft carriers, the jets. And I remember seeing that there, and I'm like, Mom, can I please get that jet? Like, look at that thing. It's great. No, can't get it. So.
In that TV show, they talk about the aircraft carrier.
Yes.
7 feet long.
That's crazy.
They only sold like a handful of them.
Did it have a PA system too?
I think so.
Like take off and... Yeah,
and one of the guys they were talking that was on the show, he's like, my buddy had one of them. He goes, how do you play? And they're like, we didn't know how to play with it. And you stop thinking about how the hell do you play with a 7-foot aircraft carrier? You've got to. It takes up its own. It's got to have its own room. You got to have a spare bedroom for these kids.
Sleep on the floor. That's what you're going to be doing underneath your game table. You have it on.
Oh man.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever see Comic Book Men, but occasionally they make trades and stuff. And I think this was like way back in season 1 or 2. But someone brought in that aircraft carrier, and it pretty much had everything it came with. They put it together in the back, and they're actually playing with it and stuff. It was
Lord.
Oh, it was crazy. What great things they had, and they still have a few cool things, but I don't know, it might just be our generation. It just doesn't feel like the same as when we were kids. It felt like there was so many great toys out there, and now it's like very, few and far between. You got a lot of, you actually got a lot of toys we grew up with coming back.
Oh yeah.
And so that's cool to see that. Or you got the novelty market, which is always fun.
We were in Walmart, and my daughter had some test or something. She'd just come back to the doctor, and we figured we're gonna get her a doctor's toy set so that she can play with the stethoscope and stuff. Because so when she goes to the doctor, she's not scared to death of this damn thing.
Right.
The doctor puts it in her ears, and she panics. It's like child day. She wants to listen to your heart. It's not going to hurt you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're in there, and I walk the aisles, and yeah, some of the toys are cool, but it's the same Nerf guns I've been seeing for the last 5 years. The zombie ones and stuff. I mean, yeah, they've got the new ones. They got the balls and stuff, but the GI Joes, are limited. Everything right down is all limited. There's so many selections. Everything's only got like two or three peg rows, and that's it. And it's when we were kids, it's you had all the you didn't have as many styles of stuff, but you could take up half of an aisle, all of the Ghostbusters stuff, all the ghosts.
Yeah, go
down a little bit with all the Ninja Turtle stuff. And they take up the other half of that aisle, and on the other side you've got G.I. Joe and something else. You had a better selection. The characters were small, and the amount of characters were smaller shows, but you got a better selection of what you wanted out of them.
Right.
And now, I think there's just too much.
There is. Well, and there's also like, what the hell is this? I don't even know what this is all about. This whole toy line, like they had this toy line at Toys R Us, like it was all these like military type of figures, and I'm like, who the hell are these? They look like a G.I. Joe knockoff, but I'm like, I don't know anything about these characters.
Yeah.
Where are they from? And I think that all goes back to there's no longer any Saturday morning cartoons.
That's another problem.
There's no advertisement for these things.
Yeah.
How the hell do I know?
Kids are going to buy them because they look cool and to play them. Well, they've got no story. There's no...
Yeah.
They have no story.
Because kids want a story. Yeah, exactly. They want a story.
You can't care about them.
Right. It's like, who is this guy? I'm just going to name him, I guess, and
unless
come up with my own idea.
Yeah, unless that's the thing. Now in our generation, it was Saturday morning cartoons. You watched G.I. Joe. You knew who all the characters were. You cared about them. Now it's all movies. Mm-hmm. Well, I got to go see Thor, so I can buy all the Thor figurines, and I know their story. Mm. Captain America, Star Wars. It's all
yeah.
It's not TV shows anymore. It's all movies.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's sad. I like to think someday things will correct themselves and the cartoons will come back. I mean, in their own way.
Yeah.
But for now, you have Netflix and things like that. But yeah, just I miss Saturday morning cartoons. Now it's just kind of boring programming. I'm like, my kids don't want to watch this, whatever this is.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like, who cares? So, yeah, let's talk about the Deadpool 2 trailer.
Oh my lord! So yeah, my fingers are crossed. Because there's been some stuff going on with this movie, with losing people passing away and people leaving the show and their movie and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm really hoping this is going to be as good as the first one. And it looks good.
You're right.
I like the concept so far. Cable comes back in time to kill a kid, and Deadpool's like, whoa.
It's very Terminator-like.
Yeah.
Does Cable do that in the comics? Hunt?
Yeah. His main bad guy is Apocalypse. It's always been Apocalypse, because Apocalypse infected him with some weird virus, and that's what keeps his powers keep the virus, and they keep each other in check. It's kind of like Deadpool with his cancer and his healing factor.
They can relate a little bit.
Yeah. So, and then there's his alternate version of him is Nate Gray, who is an incredible telepath. But if you push him past his limits, he passes out. Well, if you push Deadpool past his limits of his powers, the virus gets the better of him and makes him sick.
Really?
And then it all eventually rebalances, but yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So he's trying to prevent his future from happening.
Cable's
future, yeah.
Because he's born into like Apocalypse.
Yeah, Apocalypse cloned Jean Grey and Madam, I want to say her name was Madam Pryor. And then he took her, and then he took some of Cyclops' DNA and created well, it would be Nate Gray, but then infected him, and that's where you get so that's Cable's whole deal, is to stop his future from happening.
Gotcha, makes sense.
And so apparently some kid's going to pose a threat. Got to come back and stop him.
He's a fat kid. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fat kid with powers everybody wants.
So Deadpool, I'm sure Cable just schools Deadpool.
Oh yeah, you know it.
So Deadpool's like, all right, well, I'm gonna put a team together, and we're gonna save this kid because something's not right.
Yeah.
So yeah, and it's
X-Force.
Yeah, I'm sorry
we're gonna call ourselves X-Force. That was awesome. And he was wearing an X-Men t-shirt at one point.
Mm-hmm. He grabbed Colossus' butt. I'm sorry. And I really hope Colossus is just the same.
Oh, I'm sure he will be.
He's kind of the innocent soul. He has to be.
Was that Deadpool in Professor X's chair?
Yes. Spinning around in circles, playing around. Yep.
I don't know how they're going to do that. Like, are they going to actually have James McAvoy make an appearance? That might kind of screw up the whole tone of those X-Men movies, to interject it into a humorous.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I think they should.
It's just an odd place, It's kind of like Deadpool is like trying to just have fun with all the characters and not really care about canon much. And the whole X-Men's got this canon built, so it's like, how do you do that?
It needs to be that Deadpool just comes across the chair, starts playing around, and then you hear a noise, and he looks over like a toilet flushes or something, and somebody's helping Professor X out of the bathroom. And Deadpool jumps out of the chair and runs away, like he breaks a wheel off of it, and then he hears the toilet flush because he can't fix it in time. He runs away, or something.
Yeah,
it's got to be, because it's Deadpool. It's got to be something humorous.
Yeah,
but they should interject one or two of the X-Men, characters, and just up an appearance.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the same sense, in like the next X-Men movie, Deadpool needs to walk past in the background, stop, look at everybody, wave, and then keep going.
Right.
So there's just do kind of a shout out.
Of course, the timelines are different with the X-Men movies and Deadpool. So actually, This is a present day Professor X, so it doesn't really have to be. It could be a whole new actor playing him.
That's true.
It's weird though because it's under the same studio. You know what I mean? But of course, Disney's going to own it all. It's
Disney eventually will own the
weird.
world.
It's like they get to play with the sets, but it's not really the same universe. It's I just remember the first Deadpool seeing the mansion all of a sudden and the sign Xavier's School for Gifted Students or whatever it is, and I was just like, oh my god, I had goosebumps. Like, this is kind of fun, but it was just so weird because Apocalypse didn't even come out yet, and it's like we're going through all these different versions of X-Men. It seems, you got Colossus, who's like resembles the comic book character.
Oh yeah,
it's not the pretty boy we got to know from the other universe. It's just kind of shiny. He didn't really get big, and he didn't have a Russian accent or anything. So it's nice that they really finally adapted this to that character. But yeah, the movie looks really good. It seems more formulaic in a way. Like the first movie just seemed to kind of go balls to the wall, do its own thing.
Yep.
This one seems to kind of be grounded a little bit more because there's that kid thing, and it feels like Deadpool and his girlfriend are gonna want to kind of be parents to this kid, sort of, or
maybe
keep him safe.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. That could be good for a sequel or bad. I don't know. To me, it's gonna be hard to really do what they did the first time. But it's okay. A sequel is different. Doesn't have to, as long as it's good.
I mean,
who cares?
You keep the character. Keep the same. That's the word I'm looking for. Like, I guess the same formula.
Mm-hmm.
Like, keep Deadpool as Deadpool because
everybody else can change, but Deadpool.
No,
needs to be Deadpool.
don't break the character. Don't break the characters you have. So like Deadpool, Colossus, Teenage, whatever.
Yeah.
And his girlfriend. Don't change those characters. Don't change who they are too much, and keep them the way they would interact with everybody else the same. And you're just adding more people to it anyway.
Right.
And still have fun with it because that's all Deadpool does. He doesn't plan anything.
Yeah.
Everything's by the seat of his pants.
Right.
And keep it that way.
Right. Exactly.
He even admits it in the comics what was it? It was during the Skrull invasion. He convinced the Skrulls to clone him to take his abilities and put him in their Super Skrulls. Which you would find. That's how you find out that his healing factor will kill him without his cancer because it kills those Skrulls. And he gets those Skrulls shooting each other and everything else. All right, now you got to train, and they train on each other. Right. And they're shooting, stabbing, everything because they heal right back up.
Right. Exactly.
And then he faces another Super Skrull. And when an actual Super Skrull, so when they come back to the ones that they've injected his healing factor into, they're all mutated and like. They can't move because everything's hardened up because of the healing factor. Right. But the Skrull is telling him that he's been planning the invasion for all this time and planning every little detail. And Deadpool goes, "Yeah, I just kind of improvise." Like he plans out the first 10 minutes and then he improvises straight on from that. And as long as you keep that, it should be really good.
Sure.
I can't. And keep the seriousness of Cable.
Yeah, and I think they are. Yeah.
Because they play well together. He's incredibly serious, and Deadpool is Deadpool.
Sure. Yeah, Brolin looks great. He looks really cool. I like
he does.
All the special effects. It looks very, very good. I hope, I'm sure it'll make some good money. I think they had a little bit more budget. Probably would have preferred them to stick with a lower budget just to, keep the focus and not get so... not get more studio involvement or make it too glamorized, kind of, keep that gritty look, which it looks like all that is kept. That's coming out soon, May. So very exciting.
Wife and I are going to go see Infinity War, and then we're going to turn and we're going to go see Deadpool.
Excellent. I don't know if you're a huge Karate Kid fan, but the Cobra Kai trailer just dropped on YouTube. The first full-length trailer. They've had teasers. It's dropped, and this is going to be for YouTube Red only. So you got to buy $10 a month subscription to it, which I'm very tempted to get. Because
it'll be something I won't see.
I know it. I really want to see it though. This trailer sold it for me. I was really digging it. It picks up 34 years later. It looks like Johnny's kind of down and out, which is funny because he just lost a fight in high school. It just feels kind of like, get over it, man. It's high school.
Well, it may have just been the downward spiral.
True. That's true. And I'm sure we're going to get more of that story. We pretty much know how this goes, Danielson's got a dealership and he's kind of a cocky asshole I got from this trailer, So I was kind of rooting for Johnny because even though the Cobra Kai has that bad reputation, it seems like he's really picking up kids who are picked on, and he's giving them the abilities to fight back, and there's humor in it. Like there's one scene where the main kid who starts it all really doesn't want to kick a girl, and Johnny's like, so? Because the kid's like, she's a girl. He's like, so? And so he's like, I'm sorry. So he kicks her and she falls down, and then he feels bad, and then she gets the upper hand and pushes him down and then jumps on him like twice. And Johnny's like, oh, she's a natural cobra. Things like that were just, it was really cool. It's a really cool trailer. It's fun. There's a cool scene where Danielson's dealership commercial's on and Johnny's sitting, in his apartment, whatever, watching it, not meaning to. He's trying to turn the channel, but the remote batteries don't work. So as Danielson's talking, he's like hitting the shit out of his remote, trying to get it so he can change the channel.
Yeah.
But it makes me root for Johnny more because
I think it's supposed to kind of paint Danielson as not the good guy.
Yeah, which there's been theories out there
that maybe
going back to the original movie that maybe that was always the case. Like Danielson was, he kicked him in the face in the end fight, and someone put something together on YouTube. Go check it out. It actually is like stating in a case that Danielson was actually the villain in Karate Kid. It's pretty interesting. Not to say that I agree with it, but it's fun, to fantasize about that.
It would be interesting that that Johnny, he had is down and out of luck, and he comes back as being changing his life and being a good guy. And Danielson, having always had success, it goes to his head, and now he's an asshole.
Right. It looks really good. I really want to see it, man, but I don't want to pay that to see it. I already got all these other streaming services, but we got a good reaction from our media sites when we shared the trailer. So I really think they'll get the audience. That won't be a problem. Maybe I'll just have to find someone who has YouTube Red and ask them if I could, borrow it for, a binge watch. I don't know, but it looks really good. It's the closest we're going to get to a new movie, I think. And maybe this will inspire a new movie to be made. Not sure, but yeah, it looks great, man. It looks really good. And
if we're lucky, because, Netflix, some of their movie stuff's coming out to DVD now. Yeah. So maybe,
of course.
Like Stranger Things and stuff. So maybe if we're lucky, this goes over well enough.
Yeah.
They'll just drop it to DVD.
Absolutely. Yeah.
From, the YouTube Red channel.
Heck yeah.
And at that point, climb all over that.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to. I hate to wait though. I really want to see it. But maybe something will happen. Maybe I'll get a friend who has it and he'll volunteer the password to me. We also did a poll on our site for Robert Downey Jr. was talking about. He still wants to make Sherlock Holmes 3.
Oh,
so we did a poll on that, and of course that was very favorable as a yes.
Oh yeah,
to seeing more.
He does an excellent Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, I think you owe all the success to all the different interpretations of Holmes right now to his movies. I think they really helped. If you didn't like him, it helped you like something that was more your taste.
Yeah, well, what was that one where Watson was the gal?
Oh, that is.
I don't think it's on the air anymore.
It's on CBS. No, it's still on.
Oh, is it?
It's still on. Man, why does that escape me right now? You got Sherlock, which is the BBC one. What is the one on CBS? Oh, Elementary.
Yeah,
Johnny Lee Miller.
Yeah,
stars as Sherlock. Yeah.
If you compare the two, Holmes is still even in the modern day, he's still a slob because his mind's too busy working elsewhere to deal with the cleanliness and stuff. And Holmes is not Holmes, but Watson, very still clean cut, very neat. What the hell is the matter with you? Go get a shower, kind of per individual. And I'm sorry, but you can't tell me that it's not influenced by the Robert Downey Jr. movies.
No, especially any action type of things you get. Yeah. You got which is funny, the BBC version was the next one that came out that was popular. And they do their thing, the way the BBC does programming, which I really like, is they do for this particular show, Sherlock, they did 3 episodes a season, but each show was an hour and a half. So it was pretty much 3 movies.
Okay.
So they did that, set up the arc that way, and it really introduced some good characters. And then you have Elementary come along, probably, because Sherlock was a success. They're like, we got to strike while the iron's hot. Let's do this show. And I remember at first people were like, oh, I don't know about this. CBS, Americanized, because he moves from England to America. It's set in New York, I think. Watson's a girl, whatever. It's actually a pretty good show from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And it's been on longer than the BBC one. There's more hours of programming episodes than the BBC one. So
I used to watch it, and then
still going.
My schedule just never did not allow it after a while.
Yeah, I mean that's what a lot of shows. Not to say it's not that they're bad shows. It's just you get busy, and I don't know the TV schedule honestly, unless there's something I really want to see.
Well,
then I'll look it up and make sure I catch it.
TV Guides is gone.
Yeah, you have apps though. It's you have CW apps, CBS apps, other apps like that.
Let me pick up and I don't want to go by the book TV Guide. Just once a week in the paper. This is what's going to be on this week.
Old-fashioned, yeah.
That'd have been, I remember. I miss those days.
I hear you, yeah. That's just what I did with an app anyway. I got the Sci-Fi app, and I caught the new Krypton show. I watched probably over half of it. I was really pleased with it. It turned out pretty good.
I have not watched it. And my buddy introduced it. He goes, "Oh, they're making another Superman show." And I actually read the article and was like, "You need to read the article." I don't get it. No, it's got nothing to do with Superman. You need to read the article.
Yeah.
However, I like the concept of it. I like that we're doing something with his world, and it'll give you an idea of his culture and everything else as well. And then any bad guys they pull out of that and bring in, say, into the movies, maybe Brainiac or something, a better Doomsday, because that's where all of them came from. That would it would help build up that backstory with them as well. You could actually do that.
Exactly.
So I haven't watched it, and unless it's on Hulu, I'm probably not going to be able to. However, the concept is, I love the concept.
Yeah, it's really good,
and it's different. Mm-hmm. It's something different, which we're not seeing a lot of out of Hollywood. We're not seeing a lot of out of TV shows and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's what Smallville, the appeal was to at least the earlier seasons of Smallville was Superman, where he grew up.
Yeah.
So as long as they don't I thought Smallville got worse towards the end. Like, they were pretty much doing everything they could but make him Superman. He met all the characters Superman would come to know.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like, you know what? Just end the damn show and do a Superman show if you want. I don't like, focus on Smallville itself. Don't get away from Smallville, which they did, because that's what's bad about most TV is we're going to keep going and going and going. It's like sometimes less is more. I know it's jobs, right? I get that.
At some point, he's going to have to leave his small town. At some point, he's going to have to don the clothing.
Yeah.
The outfit.
He did on the show, but he just never wore the suit, which is just
and at some point, he's going to have to become
mm-hmm.
If you keep going with the show about him growing up, eventually Superman's 40 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
And finally leaving home.
Right.
Which doesn't work.
I'm more in favor of just making a good quality show, letting it end when it feels necessary, and I think most shows just keep going. This one, I hope, I don't know. I really enjoyed what I saw. It was kind of too Earth-like in some spots, just with the language. I kind of like them being a little bit more, crafting it better, like Battlestar Galactica, the reboot series, had the word I think frock instead of fuck,
Yeah.
They made up their own curse words. Like, I kind of would have preferred some of that to be made up for their particular language, But they did get a lot of other things. Like, the writing is really good. It's written by David S. Goyer, who's no stranger to Superman or Batman or Blade. That's what he's really known from.
They could also, take it a step further. You could also introduce the ecosystem, animals, all that. You could do so much with this because it's a whole alien world.
Oh, it's really cool. They've actually introduced quite a lot. They had this couple both put their blood samples together, and the machine was able to tell them their whole kid's life. Like, he's going to look like this. He's going to grow up to be this. How long he's going to live. Like, everything. Wow. It's really cool. Like, they have put a lot of money in this pilot, this show. I hope the Brainiac scenes, I have not gotten to the Brainiac part yet, but just from the trailer, Brainiac looks amazing. The skull ship looks great. Like, the effects look incredible. They just really went all out.
I'm wondering, because Brainiac started off as helpful.
Well, this version, I think he's more of a threat dead on. Like, he's never really, he just comes to the world to take it. He's not the computer or whatever that is in Krypton, which I kind of like that version more, I really like the animated series, how they dealt with, like, Brainiac was basically fooling everybody thinking they were fine because he wanted them to die. And Kal-El had to take him down as best as he could. Yeah.
Well, and he originally started off as a computer that helped with their daily lives and whatnot. And
then they adapted and grew, evolved pretty much.
Unfortunately, he became self-aware and was like, screw these hippies.
That's something that I'm surprised they just haven't put in the movies yet. Like, what a great villain. They've never tackled it. They've always go back to Luthor. It's like, I hope we get Brainiac, but now with the series, I don't know how that works. But that's one of the big ones that we still need in the movies. But we get it here in the show, and it looks great from what I've seen the clips of. I need to finish the show, but I'm really, really digging it. Yeah, like I said, great writing. The alien world, they've really put a lot of work into it. It's given us world building for Krypton we've never got live action, at least. I'm sure comics have explored some of the mythology of Krypton, but it's nice to know more about this place rather than it just exploding. That's it, you know, Superman gets launched off of it and all that. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, this is like 200 years before Superman. So it's like, you know, I think a lot of people think Krypton, they'll have powers like Superman. No, they won't.
No, they were human.
Exactly.
They were human-esque.
So if they start going that route, giving them powers, I'm gonna be pissed, and I'm not really gonna be interested.
Yeah, no, they were scientists. They were explorers,
warriors, because there's a military.
Yeah, I mean they had military and stuff, and they were advanced technology, but they were human-esque because of the red sun.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have those powers. Maybe they lived a little bit longer. Maybe a little bit more durable, but other than that, no, they were like us.
Right. So as long as they keep that, and you know, it's like Superman. Like, you got to be creative with these characters. Don't get lazy and do things to them that makes it easy to write. You know, just I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but like with Smallville, it's like, don't take him to Daily Planet if he's not Superman yet. Like things like that.
Yeah.
Like, just focus on what you're doing. Build your own world. Kind of like Gotham. They started in the beginning to try to do that. And to me, I think they've really kind of played it safe. They've given us all these damn villains before Batman even shows up, and now they're pushing...
Batman's the cause of some of those villains.
Well, yeah, and now they're pushing the young Bruce Wayne to be Batman earlier. Like, you know, 13-year-old Batman is going to take over now, and they do have the Joker working for them. It looks pretty good. The kid they got, he actually has a big hat, and they haven't revealed this look yet, but I've seen some pictures, and look wise the show's pretty cool. Like, they do some good stuff there.
I've seen some of the episodes.
I just can't get over the fact that it's more interesting if they just make a damn show about the cops of Gotham, to me, like Gordon and stuff, and not give us all these damn villains. Like, why can't they be going against the mob or something? You know, that's kind of your normal person in Gotham.
Could introduce some of the villains. Don't do the superpowered ones.
Yeah, which they've already.
Yeah, no, don't. I mean, not yet.
Got Mr. Freeze already.
Yeah, we got Solomon Grundy.
Me off.
You've got. No, if you're gonna do it, you can do the Penguin because he was a mob boss.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the Black Hand because once you know the creation of the Black Hand or Black Skull or whatever his name was.
Exactly,
because that's what he was.
Yeah,
he's a rich kid. So on and so forth. But let's not go overpowered because the cops can't handle Mr. Freeze. The cops can't handle Bane. The cops can't handle Solomon Grundy. That's why they have Batman.
Well, by the time he comes on the scene, he's just going to get Gordon's playbook. And he's like, how do you take down all these villains? Like, I'll just see how you did it, and I'll do that and get credit for it.
Yeah, which I'm sorry. Batman's supposed to be highly intelligent. Therefore, he figures this stuff out on his own. No,
right.
Billy
just came in to the studio. What'd you think of Krypton, Billy? Who's a big Superman fan?
I actually thought it was pretty good to begin with. I thought it was a little slow at start, but once they started getting everything going, and you know, when they showed the fortress and all types of stuff, that was actually pretty cool. And then everything they do, they have the Superman theme worked into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked when they do something, they find the fortress, dun, 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 you know, stuff like that.
Oh, neat! Yeah.
So it was pretty good. I'm hoping that lasts a while. I don't know with that kind of show how long it could last, but I think maybe a couple seasons out of it. I think that for sure.
Sure.
But we'll see what
happens. I was just telling David, I don't like when shows like outdo their welcome, you know. I like them to just complete something and then that's it. And you have that great memory of beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
You know?
Smallville should have at some point ended, and then you could have started a Superman series.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With the cast. You just move into a Superman series.
Right.
And then you because you know what, as Clark Kent, he got to meet Doomsday, which I like how they did Doomsday.
Mm-hmm.
However, Superman doesn't meet Doomsday as Clark Kent. Superman meets Doomsday as Superman, and he does so many years into being Superman, being the superhero.
Yeah, that would have been cool if Smallville would have done that. I think maybe Superman Returns hurt that possibility. I don't know. I mean, they pretty much, Billy, you've seen the whole Smallville. They pretty much pushed him to be everything but Superman, right?
Because they wanted him to, I guess, grow into what he was. Because they didn't call it superpowers; they called it abilities.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted him to learn his abilities and his trials, quote, quote.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was more of him becoming what he's supposed to be later on in life. That's why they did it that way, which, I mean, when I read an article about it, they said Tom Welling said that's what they intended to do to begin with. So,
sure.
Yeah.
They probably never thought they were going to run, 11 years or 10 years?
It was 10 years.
Crazy.
10 years, and then they could have gone 11. They decided to do like a Superman-type season.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
they didn't go that route. So
I think that with Krypton, you could set up a lot of stuff. You could, introduce Brainiac. It may be that creature that comes, falls, dies, they take his computer and use it and adapt it into their system.
Yeah.
For everything that they used the Brainiac originally for, which just eventually keeps him alive.
Mm-hmm.
You could introduce the scientist or whatever, somebody's going on. You can leave hints towards the scientist who eventually creates Doomsday, so on and so forth. So you could, and any other of his old villains who come from his past, from the planet, you could lead seeds and mentions and stuff like that. You could do quite a bit.
Yeah. I mean, just from what I saw, I got to see some of the show because the Sci-Fi offered a free
trial.
I guess. I don't know. I didn't have to put my credit card in or anything. Okay. But I at least get the pilot episode. So, yeah, everyone out there, if you want to see Krypton, go to, if you don't have cable, that is, go get the app and you can get the pilot. But I think I watched maybe half of it. I really liked what I saw. I really did.
I liked the part from the beginning where they had Superman's great grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
They sentenced him to death, but he's
on trial. They're good at trials. We know that.
They go to death every time.
They're always.
But he's wearing the cape. It's a darker S on the back, but he's wearing a cape.
Yeah.
And then now the guy came back from Earth to say,
Adam Strange.
Yeah, Adam, that's a pretty strange name actually, but whatever. But I see how they're using Superman's cape as like a time glass, like an hourglass type of thing.
Oh, really?
So
that's cool.
as more time goes on, part of that cape seems to disappear.
Oh, that's
you can see at the bottom of the cape, you can see the little pieces of it disappearing.
Nice.
So they have so much time. So if the cape disappears, Superman would never exist.
Oh,
so
okay.
So basically, the adventure from what it starts with here is that the adventure is to save Superman before he's even born.
Right.
Interesting.
So it's like the Polaroid from Back to Future.
So that's why
family's fading. We gotta do something.
They've done that in the comics before. The comics stuff before.
Sure.
Superman has gone into the future and find out he did all these great things while he was young, or Supergirl, went to the future to help out and never returned. Stuff like that. I mean, they've done time travel before. Sure. Yeah, the League of Superheroes in DC, they have traveled back in time to find various characters to come forth and help them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an interest. I like that idea. Come back and save Superman before he's born.
Yeah. It's got a real good like Terminator vibe, John Connor, gotta save John Connor.
They didn't really get into specifics of why they had to come back to save him before he's born. So I wonder if something must have happened in the future to where maybe he turned bad. I don't think they really went into specifics of why they do it.
Yeah.
But, it's an interesting way of,
should have brought back the box set of movies. Like, it starts good, and then it gets bad, and it gets pretty good again, and then it goes really... Yeah, he died from Doomsday. This is probably before Justice League. I'm just acting like if it's all canon. It's
before the pilot came out, they actually played the original Superman movies. So they started backwards. They started with 4 and went back to 1.
On Sci-Fi they did?
On Sci-Fi.
Oh, that's
wow.
cool.
So they started with Superman 4. And
Good thing they started with 4.
Yeah, so I think that's the reason why they did it, because it's a prequel to Superman.
Yeah.
So they started with 4, 3, 2, 1, and then that Wednesday they started the... So it was good how they kind of led into that.
That'd be funny. They're like, we got to stop the quest for peace. We need you to take this cape.
Maybe that's why they did it. I don't know.
And don't give it to him. It's terrible. They made it in a garage. It's really bad.
But it's interesting because the episode, how Superman's enemy is General Zod.
Yeah.
Well, there are Zods in the pilot, which is kind of awesome. A little bit of a different kind of Zod, but
And relationships.
In relationships. And I'm not sure how many people have seen this. Not to give it away.
Yeah.
But it appears that an L has a relationship with the Zod. So, which is kind of...
Oh, we're setting up gods and monsters. I see how this is going.
Yeah,
So,
it's really cool. They get into all the mythology. Like, we always wanted to know about Krypton. You know, always saw these symbols in the original movie. I didn't really know what the hell they were till later on, probably through the comics.
Right.
And this show really does a good job with, because they talk about like stripping family ranks.
the family ranks, yeah. And
Yeah.
basically, and obviously have to earn it back. So I'm assuming that Sag-El will get the House of El back into where it should have been.
Yeah,
and that's where Jor-El pretty much
they really set up a great world,
keeps it going.
and it functions, and it really is intriguing to me. We never really got this, so I'm excited about it.
I'm a little excited to see Brainiac because they showed him at the last part of the show.
Oh, okay,
and
it's he looks
a
good.
way different Brainiac than you're used to seeing in the comics and even TV shows. Usually, TV shows is just a regular person. It's just a little bit different. So so I'm pretty much excited to see
That's
how
cool.
this Brainiac.
It looks
out.
theatrical. It's really well made, kind of like the new Star Trek show Discovery, which you got to pay for to see.
That's sad.
I've seen it though; it's great. But yeah, it's like wow, this could be in the theater, and you'd pretty much not see a difference. Like it's just great quality. So that's great. Yeah, I'm really excited about Krypton. Unfortunately, I don't have cable, so I guess I'll be coming over to Billy's a lot. Interrupting family dinner just to, hey, don't mind me. I'm gonna watch the show.
Don't mind me. I'll just,
hey, is that chicken?
Yes, please. Well, actually, by that time, it comes out at 9:00. So,
oh my gosh.
So it's
my bedtime.
It's on from 9 to 10.
That's
so
my ideal bedtime.
Our time anyway.
Yeah, our time.
So I guess you want to come over at 9:00. I guess you could. But
just take a nap in the middle of the day. You'll be all right.
I think it's gonna be a pretty good show.
I'm excited.
I hope it lasts a while. I hope it lasts to where Sag-El has Jor-El, and then when Jor-El and Lara have Kal-El, and that way if it ends, that Kal-El is sent on to Earth, and that's where it ends. I hope it gets that far.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
That would be a really nice ending to the series, as the planet's getting to explode and they send Kal-El off, and then it's
that would be cool. Yeah.
And you never know when it ends, it could spin off to be another Superman show. You never know.
Yeah.
It all depends. So
might get a Man of Steel 2 and they might link somehow. Who knows? It's WB, right? Who knows? We don't know what's going to happen.
Who knows?
One more thing to leave off on, just to put in your brains. Indiana Jones is going to start filming in 2019, which will star 77-year-old Harrison Ford. So
another one.
It's going to be filming in the UK, so it's really exciting.
Now, is this erasing Crystal Skulls?
I don't know.
Because
I like to hope so.
Yeah, we all do.
Is it going to be Indiana Jones and the Fountain of Youth?
Yeah, I think I put the Quest for Teeth on our site.
Something, because
Walker of Life.
Indiana Jones is getting a little
search for tapioca.
Can it be like a young Indiana Jones or something like that? Or?
I don't know, man. Like I love Harrison Ford, but
I do too.
The time to do it was back when they did Crystal Skull. They should have just kept going and getting that taste out of your mouth.
Crystal Skull is only a few years old, right?
Actually, it's 10 years old.
Oh, it's 10 years now?
Oh, wow. So, yeah. It's over 10 years. I think it was 06, 07.
Wow.
Yeah. But you got that bad taste in your mouth, and I think that's why they want Ford to come back so bad, and he does too, because he wants to make good on.
Let's leave the Harrison Ford Indiana Jones off on a good foot.
Yeah.
I heard that when they originally talked about doing this, that it was going to basically Crystal Skull would not count. They were actually going to introduce a new son.
I'm hoping, yeah.
Kind of pass on the torch to somebody else.
Christopher Pratt, please.
So, somebody.
He would look good, man. I'm almost for like a Bond. They just kind of reboot, but it's just another adventure he goes on, and it's a different actor. We don't address any changes really, but who knows what they're going to do? I don't know. This will if they go by timelines, last one was in the 50s, so this will put him in the 60s. So he'd probably be going up against some LSD god or something. I don't know. Hippies. Damn hippies. Get off my lawn.
I didn't see the last one, so sorry if I didn't.
You're fortunate, yeah.
If I missed out on something. But,
don't do it.
So I assumed that was he not in the last movie then?
No, he was.
He
was. Yeah.
It just wasn't just not
they
good.
They bring back the gal from the first one. You find out they had a son together, which was Shia LaBeouf.
Yep.
They're fighting, I think, the Nazis again, trying to...
No, Russians.
Or was it Russians?
Yep. Cold War.
Was Temple of Doom the first one?
No, that's the second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Although it takes place before the first one.
Okay.
Really?
Yes.
Anyway.
Blame Lucas. That's what he did.
So, and you get a scene of like where the Ark is hidden and stuff like that, but they're looking for the remains of an alien. And you find out the crystal skulls are...
Spoilers, everybody.
Yeah. They're like, basically line up these crystal skulls and this alien comes to life. And it's, in the quote-unquote, in the City of Gold. Well, the City of Gold, to the people who lived in this in the City of Gold, their mass treasures was knowledge. And this gal gets what she wants. She wants to know everything, and she gets it. And it kills her because her brain can't take it. But like, it's really... Yeah,
that sounds better than what we got. With you just describing it, that sounds really good.
It had some okay scenes. There was a fight scene. They're driving through the jungles and
very CGI heavy. Though. Extremely CGI.
Driving
heavy.
through the jungles of like Africa or South America,
something like that.
This Russian falls off of the truck and into these ants are the size of your phone. Like this colony of ants. And at one point they're driving by, and I don't know how this guy got ahead of everybody, but you see him, they drive past him again, and he's obviously full of the venom, so he can't move. He's all kind of crumpled up. And they pull him into a big mound, and he's not moving the whole time, and as he goes headfirst in the mound, he screams. It's like, why is he not screaming while he's being carried? How do you get ahead of the vehicle? I mean,
he thought it was going to get better. That's he had optimism.
I don't know. I mean, the ants were neat because you're down in the jungles and places we don't explore. Mm-hmm. That's cool, giant ants. Yeah. All right, but
I know. Well, like I said, we'll leave you with that nugget of if it ever is going to happen, because sadly at this rate Harrison Ford might crash another plane. We don't know because he's
don't jinx it, man.
I don't. He's already jinxed it himself. He's crashed like 2 planes, and he had a door fall on him when he's doing Force Awakens. So I feel bad for the guy. He was at Mark Hamill's Hollywood Star ceremony. He just doesn't seem like he's there, right? In the mind. I don't know.
Perhaps it's time for him to retire now.
I don't know.
He's made a lot of movies. He's probably cracked a lot of bones.
He's 77,
I'm a big
right?
fan. I'm like, he's gonna. Well, by the time this comes out, yes, he will be 77.
So
probably 78 maybe, because special effects, they got to redo that. So
I wonder if it's going to take longer to make this movie because he's an older guy now. So he's not going to build a movie.
Well, he likes doing his own stunts, but if you're an old guy, you're going to break a lot of bones.
He's going to need a walker by the time
whether you want to or not.
Damn it, Harrison, you're not doing that jump. We've talked about this. Let the stunt double do it.
Oh, gosh. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. You can hear more on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, YouTube, Spotify, and of course, fieldofgeeks.com. Check us out on social media as well. I'm Josh.
I'm David.
I'm Billy.
Take care.